Thanks, Menashe, for the very warm and cordial invitation to speak. Wanted to take a moment to just give you a thumbnail sketch about my journey as a Division G director from a few years ago, and to just reflect upon this journey, specifically the coaching aspect as a director. And in this aspect, I want to be able to energize you, the leaders in this room, in this virtual room, to be able to take up the mantle of leadership, because you do have it within you to do more than you think that you can do. And it's an opportunity to reinvent not only your club, but most importantly, yourself. And by doing that, you reinvent your environment. But to do so, you have to take small steps to make those changes. I'll be talking about your club, yourself, and your environment. So you take a look at this picture, which do you think is better? That fast, small boat or that big shipping container boat? Now, conventional wisdom, right? You think about reinvention, it's to disrupt or be disrupted, and that the size of that change does matter, and you would think the speedboat wins. However, when you think about it further and you reflect, reality is there are two paths to reinvent, and that you can take not only a disruptive path, but you can also take small steps, and that the actual nature of change is really what matters, that end state. And the oil tanker, that slow oil tanker, that slower ship still does win. So here are some commercial examples where you have disruptive commercial private entities, et cetera, Maersk, NCC, Ping Yang. Then you also have John Deere, DBS, and so on, that have led to taking smaller steps or disruptive steps to get to that reinvention zone, which are degrees of changes over time. But at the end of the day, you just have these ways of disruption and paths to reinvention. But by taking small steps, you can still get there. You don't have to take the gigantic steps. But I want you to focus on several things. And the first being, what can I do for my club? What can I do for myself? And what can I do for my environment? And it starts with that Pathways program, especially when we are in full pandemic mode. And actually going from the old program where we had the books mailed to us, can you imagine having the ability to do the old way, the legacy program, and having things mailed to you and not the digital experience we face today with Pathways? How ineffective that would be, how less of a value that would be. We would not be able to do that adjacent space that I'm going to be citing on later on today. So that Pathways program, we had low adoption rates initially, but over time, especially during the pandemic, we had created more value. And so with Pathways during the pandemic, that legacy program, as I said, mailing boxes of books with the supply chain disruptions, publishing more books, the disruption of the ability to mail things and ship things was really slowed down. I can't imagine that leap to digital, if we did not make that leap to digital prior to the pandemic with Pathways, things would have been much better. And by doing so, whoever decided to go down this Pathways digital journey was prescient in their ability to say, you know what, we can do things better. And Pathways was that way forward for us. So we derived more value, and we were able to have an effect into that adjacent space and affect our environment. And in doing so, we had better leadership education and matriculation to create future district leaders. So Pathways, sharing of information, end-to-end member journey, and cross-club effects creates that space for future district leaders. But you have to reflect upon what is your club, right? Try this now, right? So do you want to be big and disruptive like a small boat and take those types of large leaps? Or do you want to be able to be small changes, that slower, smaller, more viable steps, if you will, more frequent steps? So you got to reinvent. So in order to reinvent your club, you got to reinvent yourself. You got to win small. But sometimes we're held back by our own selves, the imposter syndrome. You feel like you can't achieve your goals. For example, 67% of women in the UK suffer from the imposter syndrome. 49% of men in the UK suffer from that as well. And it holds you back from leadership opportunities or professional goals. But you want to be able to do this and try this other things. Overcome yourself. Focus on small wins each day. So when you create opportunities for your environment, empowerment, driving empathy, seek learning, your clubs can win. Create empathy, create club benefits, seek learning, help others learn how to succeed, create space for your environment. And that, my fellow Toastmasters, are ways that you can win as a coach, as a Division G director. Thank you.